JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 22nd of November 2022. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then guys, before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. So guys, now, so I hope you're all feeling nice and refreshed from this this Tuesday morning. If not, don't curse me, but yeah, let's get you into the action basically. So today, before I go further, let me just quickly double check the economic calendar. What do we have today? Well, it seems like the only main kind of worthy data release that we could have, well, we will have today, will be the Canadian core retail sales, so yeah, and manufacturing sales. So yeah, we'll see how that's going to come out. Manufacturing will be the preliminary ones. Also, we'll have the just normal retail sales. Yep. So new housing. So basically, kind of a relatively quiet day, I would say. But yeah, tomorrow will be a little bit more interesting. But today could be a relatively quiet day. However, continue watching the news surrounding the oil market. Now, jumping into Nikkei. Nikkei rebounded from this territory. Look, I talked about this and I said that in order to go lower, I need to see a nice good drop and I need to see the index staying below this key support zone, around somewhere around that 27,900 zone, because again, this is an area that is kind of providing that support. Well, it continued to do so, and you can see here we rebounded. Now, also my downside scenario is from somewhere around here. This is what I've put it where I've put it, and yeah, I'm gonna stick to this, to be honest. And I think that now you can basically just kind of draw it this way as well. So yeah, let's see how this is going to play out. Of course, at the moment everything's kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside. Can we see a continuation move higher? Well, we could. However, I would prefer to wait for that push above the 28282 level. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high. Shanghai Composite, just a quick update on this one. This one's not doing much. I mean, okay, the 21-day EMA provided good support. We rebounded, we pushed higher. So I think that this arrow has to go this way now, and I think that yes, if we do drop below the 21-day EMA, I will go to the downside. I will go lower. My next target will be the 3027 territory right here, and then we could go from there. Now, for the upside, pretty straightforward as well. A push above this barrier, above this downside line, and above that 3145 territory would be required. At the same time, we could pop above the 100-day EMA, which could open the door towards that 200-day EMA. But at the moment, yep, this is what I'm considering. I mean, if we do fall below the 21-day EMA, I'll go lower. ASX 200, so finally making some sort of movement, and yeah, it is to the upside, and we are coming closer to that 7,177 territory I spoke about. Now, if we clear that, I will go higher. My next target will be the 7,269. If we clear that one as well, of course, further acceleration to the upside could be possible, but at the moment, Let's go slowly on this one. Look, if we do clear the 7,269, of course I can start drawing some more levels here. Let me just grab a horizontal ray here. So this is going to be my next target, is 7,348, or even better, this one right here, the 7,416, which is marked near the highs of the 29th of April and the well, the highest point of May, actually. So yeah, good potential target, but hey, look, we first need to kind of clear up some of these levels, you know, these barriers, and then we could go, you know, for hunting for higher levels for the downside. Now look, if it starts retracing back down here, it falls back to this upside line. Look, I mean, I'm just gonna cautiously remain bullish, but if it starts breaking the upside line, now that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more sellers, and then we could actually aim for this level that I kept on talking about before, the area near the psychological 7,000 level. I mean, that is still for me a good level for the downside, but let's not try to miss out on any of this action here. I mean, after breaking this upside line, and if we do break this upside line drawn from the low of the 3rd of October, then yes, we could. There is a potential for this one to move towards that 7,000 level or even below that. Now the German index DAX. So the German index here, look, it is interesting. It stayed yesterday below that 14,440 level. So yeah, that kind of provides. It shows that how well this level is still, you know, providing resistance. The cash index right now is drifting lower to 14,370. That's where it's currently sitting at, so not far from where it closed yesterday. So basically, in other words, we're still somewhere in this little area here. Now, look, if you're looking for some lower levels, I think that maybe, just maybe, we could keep an eye on, well, I'm talking about the short term, of course. I mean, you could keep an eye on yesterday's low if you wish. It's kind of near this opening price of this candle, the Friday's candle, yeah, this 14,320. A nice good drop below this may lead to a move towards that 14,150 level right here, and then so on and so on. We could, you know, aim for further declines here towards this upside support line taken from the low the 13th of October. Now, if this upside line gets broken, now that's where it could, yeah, it could open the door towards lower levels, and we could see a further decline here towards that 200-day EMA, and then we could take it from there. But again, this is in terms of the downside. However, for me, the upside scenario will come on a break of this 14,440 level. Also, I would like to see the index staying above it, not only kind of you know, popping above it. Of course, the first initial reaction could be the positive. Yep, I mean, we could see a pop, could go higher, but then don't forget that, you know, it might take time until it settles, and if it stays above that 14,440 level, then great. We could see a further move higher, guys. So, long story short, at the moment, that's the game plan on NASDAQ. So let's see where it's going to play, how it's going to play out here, and which level is going to break it. Now, NASDAQ 100, guys. NASDAQ 100 is also, well, yesterday it drifted lower. It moved nicely to the downside. Tested, it didn't test yet, but came very close to testing the 21-day EMA. Let me just double check what's happening here right now on the cash index. Also drifting a little bit lower, 11,544 zone. Basically, yeah, not far from where it closed yesterday, but still above the 21-day EMA. So, look, I've mentioned this before, and I said that, hey, if we do fall and stay below the 21-day EMA, I'll go lower. I do have my arrow drawn all the way here to this kind of area near the psychological 11,000 mark. I think I need to put it right here. That will be a little bit better. So approximately around here, that's going to be my target. Initially, of course, I'll aim for this 11,177 territory, which I've previously looked at as a resistance. Now it could take the role of support. But for all that, I need to see a nice good drop below the 21-day EMA. For the upside, guys, well, of course, ideally, I would prefer to see a push above the 12,000 mark and then, you know, be happy. But I get it. Maybe, you know, we could see this one as a potential idea, maybe like this downside line. However, it's a very tentative one, not very, how to say it, not yet very established. So I don't want to, you know, kind of put a lot of emphasis on it. However, if you put your risk, if you have your risk management done correctly, accurately, wisely, then maybe you could, you know, try to maybe utilize this this idea. But again, like I said, ideal scenario for me is the 12,000 mark, somewhere around here, a break off in order to go higher. For the downside, I need to see that drop below that 21-day EMA. Dow Jones Industrial Average, guys. So, okay, looking at this picture here, well, so far, I would say the downside line, which we broke previously, it's kind of doing his job, because again, it's what I said before, that look, in these scenarios, we have, whenever we break the downside line or the upside line, we kind of come back and test it from the other side, and we've had that already, and we even broke it a few times. So, you know, it's not really like picture perfect here. Maybe it looks better on the weekly chart. Let me just double check. Yeah, actually, great. It looks better on the weekly chart. Wonderful. This is what I like. So that means that there is potential for this one to move higher, as long as it stays above this downside line. However, if you're a little bit on the careful side like me, then, well, maybe you just could wait for a push above, oh, not this one, let me just, above this barrier basically, and I'm trying to get this arrow above this barrier, and this barrier is around the 33,987, or you could round it up towards that psychological 34,000 mark. So a nice good pop above it may attract more buyers, and we could initially target the highest point of August near the 34,281, and if that gets cleared, well, look at this. I mean, we could go all the way here towards the highs of March and April, but again, let's not rush into anything. Let's see how this is going to play out. But at the moment, guys, I'm still cautiously bullish, but I need that confirmation break. For the downside, I will consider maybe some lower levels if we do fall below the excuse me, below the 33,365 territory right here somewhere, I think. Let me just, I think it's, yeah, this was a good level before, but I think it got violated. I think it's time to actually redo this. Okay, that's even better, I think. So, yeah, these have to go here. So, I think this is going to be a little bit better now. This 33,320 territory, together with the 33,240 level. So, this area, if that gets broken, we could see a move towards the downside, towards that 21-day or even that 200-day EMAs. DXY, the dollar index, so beautiful push above this 107.68 level. Yesterday I talked about this, and in a way I'm gonna stick to my game plan, and as long as it stays above this hurdle, then yes, I'm aiming higher. Simple as that, basically. For the downside, well, this is where the tricky bit, of course, my ideal scenario for the downside is on a drop below the 200-day EMA, and then we could see, you know, more sellers joining in. So in other words, this whole area here could be something of a neutral for me. So, you know, I'm not gonna try to, you know, squeeze something out of this one from, you know, for the downside. Again, it's a little bit tricky. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this. Gold, guys, gold. Now this one's interesting. So look, yesterday we dropped below the 23.6. Great, and we have found support in the midpoint midpoint between mid-level here between the 23.6 and the 38.2% retracements on the Fibonacci. So and that just leads me to something I just wanted to quickly double check and see if this. Okay, that doesn't even work out well, and this work out. Okay, this is like, so basically I'm trying to see something where maybe it's not so. Okay, and if you draw this Fibonacci this way, then yeah, the 61.8% retracement worked out perfectly. If we do come back to this option, the initial one, then the midpoint was the kind of the support area, together with these this area between these two levels, the 1729 and 1735. These are the highs of the October, the highest point of October, and the highest point, I think, of September. Yep, the correct, this is the highest point of September, respectively, of course. So, yeah. And this was the good area of support. We're seeing a bit of a rebound. The question for me right now remains the same. Can we see a further decline, actually? Because look, we did have a retracement right now, a rebound, from this area, and we moved higher. But look at where we found resistance near this 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. So if we continue to struggle to overcome that level, that barrier, then this kind of leads me to this point that, well, maybe further declines are still possible, and maybe we could see a move towards that 100 and 21-day EMAs here, which are near the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, which is around that 1721 level. Again, I'm going to stick to this idea. If we remain below the this 23.6, then yes, I am aiming for that 38.2, guys. Simple, very simple. Silver. Silver pushing, well, after a beautiful rebound from that 21-day EMA. Look at this. It's now trying to push back above the 200-day EMA. However, it's only pushing right now, and it's only traveling right now. But it's only the beginning of the day here in Europe, so we still have to go through the whole European session. And also the US session. So anything can still happen. So maybe like with gold, we're seeing that nice little correction right now to the upside. Maybe we could get another push a little bit higher here. Look, we have a nice, very beautiful level here. Let me just grab a horizontal ray here. We have this beautiful level right here around that 21.28 zone. So basically, if it does move a little bit higher but finds resistance somewhere around here, and then drifts back down, back below the 200-day EMA. Now that's where it could become, yeah, quite interesting again, and we could start aiming for this upside line again. Now WTI oil, oh my God, look at this kind of roller coaster ride here. Look, I talked about this, and look, my target got reached this eventually, because yesterday I said that, hey, we're taking our profits here, because we almost reached it. Okay, that's fine, but then look, the event ended up reaching eventually that 76.28 zone. Okay, that's great. We pierced through it a little bit as well, and we've created on a daily chart something of a pin bar. Now, of course, some of you might see this as a potential reversal signal, which you're not going to be wrong there. However, we've seen this happening several times where it still kind of goes, in the same direction. So I don't want to rush into anything here yet. I would say for the downside, I will still stick to this 76.28 level in order to go lower. For the upside, well, this is where the thing is. I think this is the moment of preference, and you as a trader, you know yourselves better, and you know how to deal with it better, and you know where to place your stop loss. So of course, as we know, it's always a gamble, it's always a risk. So in order, if let's say if you do want to utilize this idea maybe of a potential reversal here, you can, but then be strict with your stop loss. I mean, let's say if it falls somewhere below the 79.45 and stays below it, then, well, yeah, this is where it could lead to some lower levels maybe, actually, but if it continues to trade somewhere above this hurdle, then maybe, you know, we could see some moves here to the upside. But again, it's up to you guys. Again, like I said, for me personally, that's a little bit too tricky. So you know yourselves better. You can, if you want to try to do something here about this, you can, but just have your, have your stop loss in place. Ethereum, guys. Ethereum, this one's interesting. Looking at the picture here, yep, we're getting closer to this should I say 1070 territory. If we do drop below this hurdle here, then this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, more sellers could join in. Now, in order to go higher, at the moment I am struggling with finding a good potential area for the upside, because there is a bunch of area levels that are kind of in the way a little bit. So maybe it's this one, the 1350 level, could be an interesting one, because again, maybe let's say if we do rebound right now from this 1070 territory, we go higher, we test the 21-day EMA, we kind of test this hurdle as well, and we start bouncing around here and maybe forming something off a range. Now, in order to get a little bit more maybe excited with the upside, a push above this barrier would be needed. But hey, let's not rush into anything, guys. I mean, because I could start drawing some other things that you might confuse everybody. So like this downside line, I mean, it's could be an interesting one as well to watch, but it's a bit of a too tentative. However, maybe it's going to rebound, travel higher, test this downside line, then move back down, and maybe we'll have ourselves a descending triangle of some sort. But again, not a very attractive one, because we have a lot of gap here. So again, that's why it's the crypto world right now is very confusing for me. So I don't want to kind of, at the moment I'm leaning only towards the downside, and if it's upside, then I will wait for some better times. AUD/USD, so yeah, look at this. I mean, I talked about this last week as well. I said that if we fall below the 0.6881, then I'll go lower, especially if we fall below the 100-day EMA. But if we rebound from this, then I'll aim for that 200-day EMA. Well, we fell below the 100-day EMA, and to be honest, now it's on the right track, and it seems like we could end up testing this 21-day EMA. Let's see. We're halfway there. Good potential target. That's what I'm aiming for, together with the 0.6547 level, and then we'll take it from there. AUD/NZD, my favorite one. Look at this beauty, guys. Okay, first of all, I need to tidy up this chart a little bit. I think too many lines. So there we go. I think this. So. Okay, after reaching this one of my targets, the 1.0825, we have managed to pierce through it, and now we are traveling towards that 1.0755, hopefully. That's my next target, guys. I said before that if we do fall below this 1.0825 and stay below it, I'll aim for this 1.0755, guys. That's my target, that's my game plan. Let's see if that's going to play out. Now then, for the upside, well, previously I looked at this area, and I think I'm still gonna, remain excited about this area for the upside. However, we could try to use this zone maybe, because again, this area, the 1.0883 support area here, could be it could be now seen as a good resistance level or something like that, but again, together with this downside line taken from the high of the 28th of September. So keep that in mind. If we get a break above this, then yeah, maybe we could also get a break above the 21-day EMA. Who knows? NZD/CHF, something for you to keep an eye on. Basically, look, maybe not today, but certainly maybe going into tomorrow. Tomorrow, early hours in the Asian morning, we'll get the RBNZ rate statement, so the monetary policy statement, yep, so interest rate decision. So currently the expectation is for an increase from 3.5 to 4.25, so a nice 75 basis points increase. Now, again, we are, like I said, at a very interesting spot. Now, again, I said it before, this is becoming one of my favorite ones as well, actually, because it's somehow very technical, and if if we eventually get a nice break through this downside line, my next target is the 200-day EMA right here. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 0.5834 territory right here. At the same time, also a drop below the 21-day EMA, and then more sellers could join in. So, long story short, that's the game plan, guys. Pretty straightforward, but I am watching the interest rate decision. USD/JPY. So, haven't looked at this one for quite a while, and look. I'm gonna remove all the lines here. I'm gonna start fresh. However, just want to keep this for now. Look, I talked about this before, and I said, look, we have ourselves something if a triangle. The pair is coiling up here, and whenever we get into something like that, according to all the TA rules, the prevailing we have a strong prevailing trend to the downside. Then we get into a triangle, and normally it gets a breakout through the downside. However, I said that look, sometimes this happens the opposite way. But that's why you always need to wait for a breakout. You don't wait. You don't like try to gamble your way. Like maybe of course if you want to feel free. Whatever you guys feel comfortable with. Just like again, like for me, I would prefer to wait for a breakout and then do something about it. Okay, if it let's say sometimes didn't work out my way, that's fine, but that's kind of trading, so it's like you need to kind of accept that. And that's why I am, like I said, I was waiting for this clear breakout here through the lower side, but I didn't get that. Instead, I got a break through the upper side, and well, look at this. I mean, we went higher. So I think that it's time to get rid of everything and start fresh. And first of all, I will look at the EMAs. Now, the 100-day EMA initially was providing support, then a little bit of resistance, and now we broke it, so now we're just kind of oscillating around that 100-day EMA. We're pushing a little bit higher. My next target is the 21-day EMA right here, together with this downside line. So this is where it kind of aligns itself perfectly with this 21-day EMA. This could be a nice potential target. If it provides resistance, a hold up, another decline here could be possible. If you're looking for some lower levels, guys, then yep, this is the barrier that I'm watching, 137.63, and then we could take it from there. Now, the other problem I have, and if you probably remember me talking a lot about this, about where we are, where we were, this highest point of 1998, so 147.65. Now, my problem with all this is that, look, this is the monthly candle here for this month. We had a fantastic decline here. This is something that we needed. Look, we could try to draw a Fibonacci here as well, maybe from this bottom actually. Yep, we've created that 23.6. That's great. Or what if I draw it from here? Okay, I think this is going to be even better. So again, very subjective, not very objective, guys. So apologies for that. Just trying to kind of see something where maybe it's not, but hey. And this is how it worked out. So if you draw it from this, basically without any allowing it to any down moves here. So yeah, if we are looking for some kind of sense here, logic, the 38.2 level, that's what it where it provided good support, so we rebounded from it. Now what? The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the Fibonacci. And to be honest, let's not overcomplicate our lives here, and let's just stick to this. And look, I'm going to keep an eye on this 147.65. Somehow, if we do push higher, we break this 21-day and the downside line, then yes, this could open the door towards some higher levels. Now, USD CAD, guys, USD CAD, so something to keep in mind for today as well. Of course, we do have that those retail sales coming out from Canada, so it could be an interesting day for this pair. However, at the moment, I think I am kind of really struggling to, find a good spot here for like any upside or downside. I mean, look, for the upside, I would say if we do push above the 21-day EMA, then yes, and we stay above it, then yes, I'll go towards this downside line. For the downside, I would like to actually stick to the 100-day EMA, and perfectly coincides with this level here, the 1.3308. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for some level here, so that could be an interesting level for the downside. But anything up around here, in between these two EMAs, I am just gonna just observe the price action. GBP CAD also quite interesting. Haven't looked at this one for quite a while, to be honest. I mean, look, one thing for sure, it's now trying to push higher. It's trying to make its way up. It cleared already the 200-day EMA. It flirted with it a little bit, so we're having something like this right now. We had this a short-term tentative upside support line drawn from the low, the 26th of September. But I hope this is going to be something like that. And if it's going to be something like that, then we have ourselves a rising wedge. And if it's a rising wedge, then according to all the tier rules, these tend to break to the downside. However, as long as we remain within the rising wedge, it could continue still moving upwards. Once we start breaking the lower side of the rising wedge, then that's where we could get maybe a little bit more excited with some downside. So just bear that in mind. We will ignore the whole rising wedge idea if we clearly break this upper side of this rising wedge. So yeah, let's see which way this is going to play out. GBP CHF very quickly on that one, also something that I haven't looked at for quite a while. And look, and this one, it worked out nicely, this rising wedge idea. We moved lower eventually, so great. I would say mission accomplished here. Let's remove all the drawings and let's start fresh. Now what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at these EMAs, because look, we've climbed above the 21-day EMA, so that's great. We're now trying to push above that 100-day EMA, so let's see if that's going to be great or not. But at the same time, we have also this barrier, the 1.1413, or actually 1.1414. Beautiful, nice target. So a nice good break above that may attract more buyers into the game, and we could aim for that 1.1577 or even this 200-day EMA. For the downside, I would prefer to wait for a drop below this 1.1049 zone and then aim lower. Anything up until here, in this area, I would say it kind of, yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. Euro GBP. So, so far so good actually. Look, I talked about this idea. I said that if we drop below the 0.8709, then yeah, I'll go lower. I'll aim for that 100-day EMA initially, and if that gets cleared, I'll aim for the 200-day EMA. Simple as that. So far, we're on the right track. We're moving lower. We're trending below this downside line, taken from the high of the 14th of November. Yep. So yeah, if we're looking for some higher levels, then we need to see a break of this downside line and a push above the 21-day EMA. If we are looking for some lower levels, then we are still on the right track, guys. And finally, EURUSD, guys, just a very quick one. So we broke the upside line. We fell below the 1.0270 71. I talked about this yesterday, and we are currently still trading below it. So in a way, I am leaning towards the downside. Actually, I'm leaning towards this 21-day EMA or this 100-day EMA. So simple as that. As long as we stay below this, I will aim for these two EMAs. If we start climbing back above it, well, I mean, first of all, I need to get rid of this upside line. But if we are looking for some higher levels, then yeah, I would say a push above this 1.0368 or this 200-day EMA might do the trick for a few more buyers. So guys, that's it for this session. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes, your comments, everything. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much for watching. Like I said, once again, I really hope you found it useful. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.